In this problem, we have a formula for calculating the degrees in Fahrenheit if you know the temperature in degrees Celsius. So way before iPhones and apps and Google, if you wanted to know what the temperature was in Fahrenheit, and let's say you're in Europe where everything is in Celsius, then you would have to use this formula to convert degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this equation and we're going to solve it for C. So we're going to solve it for degrees Celsius. So to do this, I'm going to isolate C and get C to one side of the equation. So I'm going to leave C on the right-hand side. I'm going to move all the other terms to the left-hand side. So I'm going to subtract 32. That's going to cancel out on the right. On the left, you have F minus 32. So we can't combine it, so we'll just write it as F minus 32. And then on the right-hand side here, I have 9/5 times C. So I want to get C by itself, but it's attached by that 9/5 by multiplication. So to undo 9/5, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this times its reciprocal, 5 over 9. So then that way it cancels out. But whatever I do to one side, I have to do the same thing to every single term on the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side here, I have to multiply everything in parentheses by 5/9 as well. So on the right, I've got C, and then on the left here, you can distribute that 5/9 to every term inside the parentheses. So I get 5/9 F minus, and then that's 160 over 9. And you can just leave it as a fraction like this. So I'm just going to rewrite it like this. C is equal to 5/9 F minus 160 over 9. Final answer. The current temperature reading. So question B says, now suppose the current temperature reading is 23 degrees Celsius. So that means when C is 23 degrees Celsius, we want to know what is the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. So we want to know what is F. So to solve for F, we can just use the formula, right? Let's substitute in 23 for C, and let's solve for F. So if we do this multiplication, right, that gives us 73.4 degrees Fahrenheit. So 23 degrees Celsius is the same thing as 73.4 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so question C says, use the formula you got in part A. So let me write down that formula we got in part A where we solved it for C. So we said that C is equal to 5/9 F minus 160 over 9. And we want to evaluate C of 98. So C of 98 means, solve for C when F is 98. So if we've got 98 degrees Fahrenheit, I want to know how many degrees Celsius is that. So we can substitute it into the equation. So where we see F, we can substitute in 98 degrees, and then we can solve this equation to see what 98 degrees is in Celsius. So if we do the math correctly, you should end up with 36.67 degrees Celsius.